lifeguard recruits face a grueling day of challenges. See if they have what it takes to join an elite team.
We try and incorporate into the training like the worst case scenario.
That's right now on Beach Patrol Honolulu. Amazing beaches, massive waves, and tough terrain are so intense that being a lifeguard in Honolulu is the Super Bowl of lifeguarding. Honolulu Ocean Safety Lifeguards are highly trained pros who know how to handle the world's most spectacular surf. For the past 30 days, lifeguard recruits have taken part in a grueling training towards one goal.
Yeah, those guys are the best watermen in the world, and hopefully I'll show some guys that I deserve to be there.
Lieutenant Matt Miller has gathered the recruits to begin their final day.
I want you guys to fight for this. I want you guys to prove to me this is what you want.
These recruits have trained for any situations they may encounter. Today, they face their final challenge, a day where they'll be put into rough, real-life scenarios to test their life-saving skills.
This isn't a handout. You gotta work hard.
On the southeast side of Honolulu, just beyond Hanauma Bay, lies Witch's Brew. The area is so dangerous, it's off limits. An untrained swimmer would not be able to handle these stormy waters. If a swimmer gets sucked into Witch's Brew, lifeguards have to be ready to jump into these choppy waters without hesitation. For the recruits, Witch's Brew is their first test.
Once you get in, it's going to be really hard to see exactly where you're going. So, as your group, stay together, and if you don't, you're going to get dropped right in onto the reef.
Lieutenant Miller and the recruits carefully navigate their way up the cliff.
But this entire area is wet. Whoa.
If these recruits cannot handle these rocky waters, they'll be heading home. While the rookies struggle with Witch's Brew, the pros at Sandy Beach have their hands full. A big crowd and giant swells are a dangerous combination. Lifeguard Donovan Lewis, a 10-year veteran, fights the unrelenting surf to rescue a young boy stuck in the grasp of a vicious rip current. Lifeguard Lewis reaches the boy just in time, but the massive swells are only adding to the danger.
Since the waves suck up so fast, I like to duck them under. I tell them on the count of 3, we're gonna go under. Hold your breath.
Lifeguard Lewis finally brings the boy safely to land.
Conditions change all the time, you know, we're trained and ready to respond.
Just when all seems calm again, Lifeguard Lewis sprints in to save a second victim. A girl exhausted by the wicked waves has been caught in the violent rip.
She had a really weak stroke, and she got sucked up pretty far.
Lifeguard Lewis tows the girl in, struggling against the relentless rip. He fights through the rip to get the woman to shore safely.
There was a moment where I was like, wow, I'm a lot further than I wanted to be. Wow, I'm a lot more alone than I want to be.
It's a long day for these guys out here.
Back at Hanauma Bay, for their first challenge of the day, the recruits must navigate the rough waters of Witch's Brew.
It's always a new experience. So it helps to, you know, instill some of the core values that we have.
Because it was really stormy, and I'm glad I have my buddies around because I don't think I'd be doing this by myself.
It's a really good place to incorporate a team concept so everybody's watching each other's back.
It's also critical for these recruits to prove they can handle other danger spots in this tricky terrain.
One of the things that we try and incorporate into the training with these guys is the worst case scenario.
To see if they can handle a worst case scenario rescue, Lieutenant Miller brings the recruits to the Dragon's Hole, a water-filled lava tube barely wide enough for an adult. Testing the recruits' life-saving skills here is critical. When faced with a rescue in a similar spot, they will be ready.
Getting in and out of there, it's tricky. It's very sharp rocks. Surges moving in and out. It's a life-threatening place to be.
Lieutenant Matt Miller does it with ease. But for a rookie who's never been in a hazardous spot like this, it will be risky. Recruit Buzzy Mendonca volunteers to go first.
You feel panicky, easy to drown, you know. You gotta be calm all the time.
He signals everything's okay, then enters the lava tube. Too much time has passed. Recruit Mendonca should be out by now. In such a tight spot, he could be trapped. The recruits may be forced to make their first rescue. Coming up next on Beach Patrol, will the recruit escape the clutches of the Dragon's Hole?
It's a life or death situation.